Hello everybody, Mr. O here, and today I'm going to teach about reclaiming canvases. So let's just talk about the cost of canvases. You can buy a canvas for $5 or you can spend $200 on a single canvas. And it's not just about the size, it's about the quality of the materials that you're purchasing. If you were told before you start painting, the next piece you're going to create is a masterpiece, would you choose that $5 canvas or would you choose that $200 canvas? And I think all of us would probably go with that $200 canvas, because if it's going to be a masterpiece, you want it to last the test of time. But the reality is we never know what's going to be a masterpiece. We don't know what's going to last the test of time. And art is expensive. So it's always good that we reclaim our canvases. Now I'm showing you this one. If you've seen my painting techniques videos, you recognize this. You know, I already like this. I really don't want to reclaim it, and I'm only going to reclaim a part of it just to kind of explain. I've reclaimed this once where I had a painting before and I actually gave it a black background, which is very common to do. So I had just used black paint, and for today I'm going to use white acrylic paint. Let's talk about that. Since this is going to be an acrylic painting, I'm going to do acrylic. If it was an oil painting, number one, I'd make sure I got my oil brushes. I only reclaim oil paintings on top of oil paintings. Some people it doesn't matter to, but for me, if I'm going to do an acrylic painting, I'll reclaim an acrylic painting or start new. That's usually my rule of thumb. Now the danger of doing acrylic is cracking. People don't understand that you cannot, when you're putting that layer on, it's okay that some of this color will come through, and this is why I'm going white on top of black, so you can see that, how I paint it and how you'll see some. Remember, you're going to be painting on top of that. We want to do thin layers, because if you start thickening up your layers and acrylic contracts, it can create the cracking. You paint too much too quick and it cracks. Now, another way of getting canvases ready is using gesso. Make sure it's mixed. As you can see, I have a lot of gel on top. It's a brand new bottle from 2006, and I'll stir it up. It's still soft and stuff. I only use gesso mostly if I create a canvas and I want it white. I will use gesso instead of white paint, the initial layer. But when reclaiming, I tend towards just using white or black acrylic paint. And the choice is really yours on reclaiming. And then I use the biggest brush I have. In a classroom, these two are probably the biggest brushes you're going to come across, okay? And so I have white paint here. And what I'm going to do first is actually just get my brush wet. And I'm going to just use, like, as I said, my biggest brush. I didn't dry the brush, but I wiped most of the water off to the side. And let's just do where the alone is. As you can see, as I'm painting, as I told you, you'll see some of the black leak through. Now, you're thinking, okay, I'm going to have to get this purely white. No. All you want to do is get your coat nice and even. Get rid of any thick globs that are left behind. It's okay to have the streaking, and it's okay, as you can see, my black layer had a lot of texture on it, and I like that. So if you get texture like that, go ahead and leave it if you like it. If you don't, just work it out, and you notice I'll swap the brush. Now, of course, when I do this, I would probably just do long streak all the way down. And like I said, I don't want to thicken up my layer. I want it to be just a nice even coat, and just to go over. Hope that kind of makes sense. Now I have some old videos of putting canvas, how to use stretch your own canvas. Maybe I'll post those. Those are not the greatest, but they seem very effective. Every student who watches it seems to really like them. Even the lighting's bad, the sound's bad, everything's bad on it, including myself, but you guys seem to be able to handle it. So I hope, not going off on a tangent there, that this makes sense. And I would paint the whole thing. And like I said, don't worry about this unevenness. As long as the paint itself is smooth, don't worry that I can see where the this white dot was and there's more texture. Don't worry about that. Now, the one other thing I might mention is, let's say we're like in my classroom, every 3 to 4 years, we have to reclaim. Some students have left enough canvases behind that they didn't finish or they forgot about, and we're gonna reclaim those to save money for the classroom. Something they can do, just like you do in collage, where you use other people's artwork and then you glue it and then you form a new artwork. Let's just say I love this tree so much. Could I go kind of around it and leave the tree image, or even like water my white paint a little bit more, you know, really get it wet, and that way the white paint's a little more transparent, so when it goes over, you see how I can still see the tree? And that way I'll paint around it the second time, but then I have this ghost tree. Would that be okay? Yes. But make sure around the tree you'll get with the thicker paint. It's still your original artwork. Just be careful how much you use, like anything else. You're not taking, but it becomes kind of this collage piece, a collaboration piece of sorts. So if you go to Goodwill or anything and buy some of their used canvases, yeah, you can use what's already there. Some people take the painting there and they add little things and make it more original or more themselves, maybe some horror scenes and stuff like that. So the good news is I've been making so many videos that I'm needing paper and we're using, but I want you guys to know you make a difference. And never forget that, how important you guys are. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.